Well, welcome back, guys. Welcome back to another episode of Investigamers. It's been a minute. Myself, Curls, and Anna already have 3 episodes that we did a while ago. We wanted to get back into it, but there were some topics that we couldn't think of. But we came across a topic. It's just a recent one as well. It's a very interesting topic. But before we get into it, I'm just myself. I am DJ. I stream. I upload videos on this channel here and there. And then my partner in crime, Mr. Curls.
Yes, sir. Yeah, it's been too long since we've done one of these things. I'm excited to be back, kind of getting into the groove of, talking about some craziness that's going on in the world, but just a little bit about myself. Sort of content creator in a way. It's been a while. Um, but yeah, mainly just focus on streaming and whatnot is what kind of my forte was for a little while. Of course, a little bit of content going in and out through TikTok. Always the same handle. It's Mr. Crowles and whatnot. But yeah, we're kind of back in the midst of all this, so it's good to be back, Sir DJ.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. I have some topics after this one that I will let you know what we'll love to discuss about.
I'm
Anna.
excited.
Oh yeah, I am too, dude. Especially October. Some spooky
Oh
stuff.
yeah.
Some spooky. Anna was gonna be on, but she's out busy right now with some stuff. Hopefully she
Nerd.
yeah, hopefully she's okay. Hopefully she does well. If you listen to this, Anna, please be careful. But in her place is a good friend of mine and one of our other partners in crime, Mr. Hype. How you doing, Hype?
Hello.
Would you like to introduce yourself? Like, what do you do?
Yeah, I'm Skulls Hype. I'm sort of a content creator, streamer across about pretty much everything. And yeah, just been recently trying to get back into it all and yeah.
Oh, it's okay to take breaks here and there. Like I haven't, as I'm recording, I haven't really uploaded anything for about a week and a half. I was trying to stream for my birthday, but I got busy. But this topic happened just about almost a week and a half ago. Um, before I into any details, uh, there's been a lot of things that's been going on in our world, on our planet, and a lot of interesting things. With this topic, this person was pretty much how I came across this artist. Was I think my wife was playing his music. He goes by the name David d4vd. Really good singer. I didn't really know much about him. But the music she was playing one time in a ride, I forgot where we were going. I was like, oh, he has a good voice. He has collab with a lot of big names. I think he did a collab with 21 Savage for a track for Call of Duty. Um, and then he did a track for Invincible, the comic, and then the TV show. And then he just did a track, I think the very first theme track for Fortnite. Um,
Oh Lord.
yeah, yeah. So I think there was rumors that he was supposed to get like an icon skin or I forget what they call it on Fortnite. Um, but yeah, and I think he had his own emote too on there. Um,
Oh.
yeah, dude, yeah. So David also is a content creator. I know he used to stream or he did stream, or I don't know the last time he streamed. I think on Twitch, Kick, or whatever, on a streaming platform. Um, so David was very famous. He did a lot of things, and he's only 20 years old. So with his career that span, um, this kid blew up. But yeah, so his music is something that we'll get to later down in this discussion. Hype, do you know anything about David yourself? Like, I know you looked him up just for a little bit, like last night, but do you know anything about his career and all that?
I don't really know too much about his career. Like I only knew that he was a streamer. I've never really heard his music before. The only thing I know about him is obviously what he's done recently because that's been going viral lately, what he's done
Mhm.
recently.
Yeah, yeah, oh, yeah. Oh yeah, oh yeah, 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 yeah. Curls, about
Mm.
yourself.
Yeah, so I didn't know exactly who he was when I first heard the name, but once you kind of dive into it a little bit, I remember hearing one of his songs on like TikTok. It was like a random thing that was attached, like I don't know if it was a viral, I don't think it was a dance or anything, but I know a song was like, attached to, multiple videos on TikTok. So that's kind of how I first heard him without even knowing who he was. Um, and yeah, it's strange. It's definitely strange just for the sake of like, like you were saying, he has a great voice and his music is not bad, right? But obviously, with some stuff that's been going on lately, it's very conflicting, I will say. But yeah, it's bizarre to kind of hear this great artist. And then, of course, as we dive into it, you hear some of this shit and you're like, I don't know what to make of this. This is insane.
Oh yeah, man. Like I reading up on this, I would say just the other night I was sick to my stomach. Um, so I'm gonna go ahead and go into details. David has been on tour. I think his tour just got canceled recently, but last week, as we're recording this, actually no, yeah, no, I think it was the 6th or the 7th. He went on tour. Um, and it was, I believe, a Tuesday. I It was a Tuesday or Wednesday. All I saw on Twitter. I was scrolling Twitter at work on my break, and they said that there was a impounded Tesla, and there was a body found in the trunk. So in the trunk is the front of a Tesla, I think, right? I believe.
Yeah, they have the trunk in the front,
Yeah, yeah. So
Yeah.
they couldn't identify the body. They said the body was pretty much like already, say, decomposing.
Yep.
Um,
Because it was a foul odor, right? That's what kind of led people to even discover it, like at a impound yard or whatever the hell it was. Yeah, it was like
yeah,
there was that going on. It's crazy.
yeah. And it was the car name. The owner of that car was David. I was like, oh crap. I told my coworker, I'm like, yo, dude, like, do you know the artist David? He's like, yeah. I'm like, well, they there's a car that's impounded. It's a Tesla, and it's owned by David. And he's like, no way. And I'm like, yeah. And they found a body. So they couldn't identify the body right away because the body was decomposed. So I was just looking at it, and I was just telling him, and they said the body could have been, like, I guess you say dead for 3 days. So
Mm.
now I'm thinking about it. I think it was the 10th that when it was announced, breaking news. So the 7th. So September 7th. Just keep that in mind. September 7th is gonna be another big thing. Plus his
Yep.
music. So hype. So remember September 7th. Okay. Um.
Yes.
So 3 days the body's been decomposing, and bad odors, very sour and all that. From what I remember, that at that time frame, he never reported. From my research, he never reported his car stolen or missing. He was out on tour, so I was like, okay, that's kind of strange. Like, so someone stole his vehicle and hit a body, but I don't know how that car got reported. It's like, hey, we impounded your car. So I don't, Chris, I don't know if you know anything about that.
So basically, what I kind of was seeing, and look, at the end of the day, too, right? It's like this thing is ongoing, right? So I don't think anybody really has like all the full details, right, compared to what the police are investigating, right?
Mm-hmm.
So there's a lot of things that kind of get put out in the ether of like, oh, this is what was going on. This is for sure what was going on. Nobody knows for sure until the investigation starts releasing more information about things. Um, with that one in particular, only thing that I heard about was that the car was reported stolen for a month. Yeah, it's like I'm saying, like I don't know exactly how true that was. Um, but yeah, that's the only thing I kind of seen was that it was reported stolen for a while, and then but it was never talked about. Like nobody ever announced, no one ever said anything about it.
Hmm.
And then yeah, this car just pops up out of nowhere in some like yard, and then yeah, that's when they discovered a body eventually. But a question I want to ask you guys too is just like outside of all the other details we've got up to this point, what was your guys' first reaction when you just heard about this car and then there's a body in there and it's attached to him? Like, what was your first thoughts on that?
My first thought was like, okay, he's on tour. He's running. He's running from the scene.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
know what I mean? Like, and it was crazy because when they found the body, I think he was doing a show. I forgot where, and he was passing out Labubus to
Yeah,
the fans, and
yeah.
I'm like, bro, you're not sad that like or worried that your car is impounded and they found a body like and it was crazy because he's also working with the police. He's talking to the police about everything. So like I I'm like okay, so maybe he did report it missing. That's when I didn't know anything about that like being reported. So like if he did, you should be worried, maybe cancel your show, but you're over here throwing little boo boos to your fans. So I thought
Yeah.
that was strange. What about you, Hype?
It's a little bit weird, like if he didn't do it, like he probably would have like canceled the show sooner, to like focus on this entire investigation, because that is a bit weird.
It is. It's very strange.
Yeah, to kind of piggyback off of that too, you guys brought up a good point, but like even being the person that owns a car, right? And like you said, if there was something in that equation to where you definitely didn't do it, right?
Mm.
You would think you would have some more like sympathy towards the situation, be like, hey, like I'm not gonna go on. I'm gonna go figure this shit out. Like to kind of just brush it over and to know, right? Like I'm sure he got contacted immediately, like, hey, dude, like why is this car that's registered in your name? Why is there a body there? Like what's going on? And the fact that they just kind of glaze over it and just let's just continue doing shows, that was kind of odd. Because in my opinion, like you were saying, right, like he's running away, right? um I do think that does add a layer of guilt to it. I think there is something there to where you're trying to build this case of, well, how could it be me that had any involvement in a murder potentially, right? If I'm out on tour. So I wonder, of course, this is all speculation. I'm not going to try to put words into his team's mouth or just him in general, right? Oh, perfect timing for a helicopter. Look at this.
Like, oh, you know
Thank
something.
you. And look at this guy. This guy's flying over.
Okay.
I got no information on this case, sir. Leave me alone.
So
Yeah.
correction on my statement. It wasn't the 10th. It was a
It was
different
the
day.
ninth, right?
Yeah, I believe so. So,
Yeah, that
sorry
seems
about that.
accurate.
Yeah.
No, yeah. But
So
but yeah, like that's kind of where I'm at with it too. Just the initial like reaction to it. It does seem very odd, and I do think, in my opinion, that he was trying to build a case of like, oh well, I wasn't there, so how could it be me possibly? And I'm on these shows and I'm having a good time, and I don't know if the guy is just that good with making shit up or trying to just pretend like nothing's wrong. Obviously, given the severity of the situation, maybe he's just a psycho. I don't know. But yeah, I do think he should have just like canceled shows and just focused on that investigation because it's very, very strange.
I I thought it could have been like one of his people. Like I'm like, hey, if he's on tour, maybe he has someone watching his house and they used his car for something and so forth. So that's what I thought too. But that's probably not the case. So about the body, I think about few days to a week later, the body was shown that there was a tattoo on a finger, and the tattoo matches uh David's tattoo on his finger. I believe his right finger. It said
Yeah.
SHHH dot dot. So, um, but I was reading a post like, oh well, a lot of other celebrities have that same tattoo, and I was like, yeah, but you know, of this body, like, do we know if they're a celebrity? Well, um, you know, may God rest her soul. And then, you know, prayers to her family. Deep condolences to her mom and her brother. The body was identified. Her name was Celeste. Um, she was 15 years old. Now Celeste, uh, ties in with David by a lot. Um, she was in David's Discord from what has been discovered. And this is crazy because the police is not really they're doing something, but uh, David's cooperating with the police, the authorities. So the people of the internet, this is what I love about people of the internet is that they'll deep dive themselves and they'll find things. Uh, they found messages from in his Discord that had the name Celeste in his Discord. Um,
Mm-hmm.
it's very sad. I'm trying to find it right now. I had it saved. I was ready, so I apologize if you were watching. It There's some been DMs between Celeste and David. One of the messages was like, "Oh, my parents won't let me attend your show." In that message, it said, "Oh, don't worry, I can fix this." So okay, it's like right away, your messages are being leaked in Discord, um, and that's how David pretty much met Celeste and got introduced to Celeste was through his Discord. I don't know if you guys came across those messages.
Yeah, so like just from my point of view on it too, I did see some of those interactions. I did see more in particular that because of course I don't remember if it was like specifically like, oh, here's the name Celeste in there, right? I remember seeing a different perspective of another user. What was it called? Deleted user, deleted something. It was something very specific, like try not to have a name or something stupid. Um, and seeing those interactions on there, there was some user with some random name having interactions with them. And then I remember seeing a picture in particular with that tattoo. It was a tattoo with the shish thing, and then there was like a ring on the finger or something like that, and like right next to it, right?
Mm.
And it matches up to what the mom eventually said about the tattoo. It's like, oh yeah, it's a red tattoo, yada yada, and it was the same exact one. It was the same tattoo, had a ring, all that stuff. But yeah, there was some like weird interactions in there, and I mean, of course, like whenever, and of course, it's hard to put this accusation on someone, but I feel
Mm.
like it's pretty concrete now to where I feel comfortable enough to say it. But you're having an inappropriate relationship essentially with someone underage, which is definitely never okay in any situation at all. And whenever you're trying to hide that, the typical fashion of, predators essentially, right, is what he is. I'm not going to try to sugarcoat it,
Mm.
but yeah, they're trying to be like as discreet as possible about it. And it is amazing how people online were able to dig and find this stuff because one, it's great that they're able to do that and find all this evidence of things of what he was doing, but two, it does put a weird taste in my mouth at the same time that in that Discord or even in his circle or what was happening on the victim side of like friends or family or something, right? Like people knew about this. I think that's the most disturbing factor in this. It's like people knew that he was, talking to this underage person, and nobody batted an eye to it. It's really strange. Like, why did it take this long for people to figure that out? Or rather, why did it take people this long to want to talk about it? And I don't know what ties, that guy has to anything. We all know like weird stories about Hollywood and all this stuff, but um, I found that to be the most disturbing thing of like, how did nobody talk about this sooner? And yeah, they were trying to hide it the whole time. And I can't just like really blame him in the sense of like, of course he's the number one problem there. And what he did was disgusting and terrible, but everybody else involved that knew about it, they're as much at fault as he is too. Cause you fuckers, you guys all knew about that stuff. And, it's out now, which is good that, it brings it to the light and people can have more understanding and, like get what's going on there. But yeah, that's kind of where I got with the Discord stuff. It's like, yeah, they were trying to be very discreet and try to do different usernames, all that stuff, but just wild for sure.
Yeah, so I don't know if you saw it, but she's been missing since April 5th, 2024. Her date of birth is September 7th, 2010. She's 5'3" and she weighed at 120 pounds. She was last seen in Lake Elsinore, I think that's how you pronounce it, California.
Something like that. Yeah.
She was last seen wearing gray pants and a black sweater, a hat, and Hello Kitty sandals. She left the house at 9 p.m. on Friday, April 5th. Right, yeah, January, February, March, April. Yeah, April. So about the whole Hello Kitty. So this is how I was kind of like tying things together myself on Twitter. So the Discord stuff, I'll get back to it. But for David, he hasn't really stated anything about this whole situation, or he hasn't had none of his team members, and he's like spoke for him or anything, right? The jacket that she wore was a Gap jacket, a black Gap jacket. In a stream, I forgot what streamer it was. I'm not gonna go and look at it, but I think if you're listening to this, you could probably find these clips on Twitter. They're everywhere, and people are deep diving this whole situation. And right now, like it's making me feel kind of sad because like she was a very young girl. In my opinion, she was manipulated by David. If he's a suspect, he's a suspect, right? Like, not saying like, innocent until proven guilty, of course. But as we discuss more about this, like for me, he's not an innocent person. And there's a lot of proof. But in one of the streams, there was another female wearing that jacket, and it looked similar. I mean, like people can have the same clothes, but it's just, as we discussed about this, it's just very, very interesting and very questionable about this. She was wearing Hello Kitty sandals. David, in multiple photos, was wearing a lot of Hello Kitty stuff.
Yep.
If you look at his social media, his profile pictures are Hello Kitty. Multiple of his socials, profile picture was Hello Kitty. She was wearing, when they found the body of Celeste in that trunk of the Tesla, she was wearing Hello Kitty sandals. David posted a video, I believe it was like in the shower, but like he was like sitting down against the wall. He was crying. He was wearing Hello Kitty pajamas.
Yeah, bizarre, dude. And just to kind of jump into that real quick, the most damning evidence that I seen too, I know there was a stream with that. I remember seeing something similar to that. There was one where somebody was recording a video at one of his shows, and it showed a woman and I believe his brother, if I'm not wrong, from what I understood, from what I was seeing with other people. They were going like backstage, and it was like a really quick clip. But the girl's walking with the guy, and they like turn around real quick. And of course, the weird thing is this woman that we've seen in most clips, she's always wearing like a hoodie like trying to cover up her head, and she's always wearing glasses and stuff too.
Mm-hmm.
And the one clip that I seen, she was wearing those Hello Kitty, like, I don't know if they were like Crocs or what they were, but she was wearing that, and you just get a quick glimpse of her face, and it's pretty identical to the woman. So I'm almost guaranteeing that it was her. But yeah, and I think that's the weird tie to a lot of these things that are coming to light now, that it was kind of under people's noses for the general public. I think, of course, like I was saying a little bit ago, in the circle, these guys all knew. They all knew what was going on. Like, there's no way. But yeah, just the stuff that he's posted, like you were saying, like with the Hello Kitty stuff, like it's almost gross, right, and sick that he kind of was just throwing it out there so people would know, but nobody did actually know, right, in the wide spectrum of things. Yeah, it's disgusting how like out there it really was, and nobody caught it till now.
Dude, yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, dude. There's a Reddit post. I'm gonna read the Reddit post. It's a screenshot that I found on Twitter. The username is Alpha Tango Cheesecake. The message said, "This guy is a pedophile from what I've heard. My sister, who is now in ninth grade, told me that he was dating an eighth grader. Let's call her C. And she would go on trips with him to LA. They're all in ninth grade now, and it turns out C's friends knew, and he would pay them to keep their mouth shut. C has been missing for over a month now, and no one knows her whereabouts. Definitely something strange going on." So that was from. So this post, from what I'm getting at, is basically a month after she was reported missing. That's my assumption, and I guess this user's friend knew who Celeste was. Um, and it's just kind of weird because TMZ released a photo showing David talking to teenagers, and the assumption was that he was paying those teenagers to keep their mouth shut, that he was talking or seeing and being with Celeste. Um, in that picture, that location was near Celeste's home. That is some weird stuff. That's some very disturbing, very disturbing. That just really weird. Um, Another screenshot that I have, uh, they looked up David's name in the Discord, and one message says, Wallahi, he's finished. I know what he leaked already. This message was deleted, so I can't see it, but he responded and said, "What you mean? We're literally preparing to sue him. Lamp is about to owe $30,000. Legal team's going bonkers right now. Indeed." Um, that's weird. There was a clip David was seen with Celeste. This was back in 2023. Um, there was more pictures of, I believe it was Celeste and David. In one of the pictures, it says boyfriend's kitty or BFS. You know, it could be boyfriend, it could be best friend, but I'm gonna assume boyfriend. There was a TikTok post that says, when your car declines at therapy and they bring you in that one Hello Kitty girl you met in 2021. So it's 2025. Celeste was 15. 4 years ago, she was about 11, 12 or 11 years old. Yeah, about 11. So I don't know about you guys. Hype. Do you think he was talking to her at that time in 2021?
I think it's definitely a possibility.
So at the moment, what has your thoughts gathered from what we have spoken so far about this situation? Like, there's more, but this is just, just a little bit of it.
Honestly, it has me all like, I don't know.
Like, Dude, okay, so before I get into this next thing, there were some screen captures. Before I think they deleted Celeste's Discord account, Curls. So I know you brought up that it's a deleted user, right?
Yeah. Hmm.
So I got screenshots of this user in his Discord. Now this user that was in David's Discord was kicked, and he was releasing, I think, screen recordings and screen captures of messages of conversations about us of Celeste. And now if you try to join his Discord server, you can't join. They won't accept anyone's applications to join the Discord.
I could imagine.
Mm,
Yeah, those weirdo. They should fucking honestly, they should just take down that whole server. To be honest, like I don't even know why that thing's even existing. But what I hope is the people that are running that server, they're cooperating with police and like giving them information, like whoever's running it. I mean, I don't know if it's him directly or if he had other people doing it, or I would hope that they're not just trying to get rid of evidence so like nobody finds out. But even then, it's like we're talking about the police, and how far they can go into it. They can find pretty much anything. Like you're not going to be safe or whatever. Um, which good, when you're doing like heinous shit like that, like you need to get all that information to law enforcement so they could really dive into it and really be like, oh my God, these guys were talking for this long and all this stuff was said. Like who else knew about it? And like get everybody in trouble
yeah.
that was involved.
Oh yeah. Like right here, as I'm explaining right now, this person said, I think Celeste was one of his girlfriends. One of his girlfriends, right? Celeste is Team David. So I assume my house is not my home is probably about Celeste. Celeste is the girl he showed in his stream. The girl is I don't know who this is. Ye Woo Who 7 is the girl who spoiled him. I don't know about that. This other person said drop the one with the missing girl Celeste Rivas Hernandez. And that message right there was from a year ago. The one that said I think Celeste was one of his girlfriends. I don't know how recent. Oh, I guess it's recent. It said 2 months. If you look it up, because they showed a search Celeste, and this popped up. It said 2 months on the Discord, which is kind of weird. Um, yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
let me ask you a question about this. Maybe we can dive into this aspect. Maybe at the end, I'm not too sure, but like,
Mhm.
what do you think? Like, both of you guys, of course. Like, what do you think the motivation would have been for him to, if this is all alleged, right? We don't know like concretely. Of course, everything looks terrible on him, so he's not gonna get away from that. But what would be the motivation to potentially murder somebody in this situation? Like, why do you think he would have done it?
I have some speculations. Um, my speculation. Actually, I'm gonna let you go ahead. So I'm not giving you a chance. So I know you looked it up and now you probably have some thoughts. So go ahead. By all means.
Um, my brain just stopped working.
Brain blast.
Oh my God, and I had something to say, and I completely just forgot.
Okay, I'll give you some time. My speculation, I think he was really obsessed with her.
Yeah.
From looking at all these photos, like he was wearing Hello Kitty. He said, "Oh, I'll fix this." When she stated that, I can't. My parents won't let me go to your show. It, I don't know if you saw, but in the Discord server, he gave her 18 roles in the Discord server. Um,
Oh, okay.
now from what I recall, like in certain Discord servers, you have to be like 18 years or older to do certain things in the Discord as a mod or an admin. Um, so uh, I don't know if he was hiding that she wasn't 18. Now a lot of people thought she was 18 up until she was reported missing from over a year ago. Um, and this is something, a lot of his music, a lot of his lyrics speculated Celeste. he has an unreleased song called Celeste. He there was a post about how he asked fans in his Discord, or just asked his fans, I'm stuck. I don't know what to release or this and that. Someone said, well, why don't you release a song called Celeste? And I heard that song. My wife and I, were listening to it. We were in and out in the drive-through, a long line, and I was just coming across hell of stuff. And one of the stuff was unreleased song called Celeste, and the music was just very scary, bro.
Oh yeah.
Just very like I was uncomfortable, and reading lyrics was just, oh my gosh. So here's one of them. David's song Decide dropped March 28th, 2022. Celeste born September 2010, was only 11. The lyric Save Your Tears 7 years points to her being 18 in the future. People say they've been talking since she was 11.
Yeah, I remember, it's crazy you brought that up right now, too. I heard that for the first time last night, that lyric, and I was just like, dude, what in the fuck? Like, that was insane to me.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it's more insane, like, how on the nose he was really putting it out there with it. Like, oh, yeah, that lyric and everything, even the imagery in his music videos. Like, if you notice, like, the female counterpart to him in these videos, they look just like her. Like, almost every single girl that's, like, associated with it. And it's not, like, every song, but I know, like, at least 3 or 4 songs. At least 3 or 4. The girl looks just like her. That lyric alone. The Celeste song, too, was just, like, so on the nose. I'm like, what the fuck? What is this? Like, it just seems so outrageous that he didn't do it, right? Because everything's pointing to essentially this music career is being built around the love of this girl, from what I'm kind of getting out of it. And I'm like,
I didn't even think
dude,
about that.
Yeah, dude. Like, I had that epiphany last night. I was really kind of I was up to, okay, mind you, like, give you context. I was up to like 3 a.m. last night, just like looking at stuff. I was just in rabbit holes for the last few days in particular. But yeah, I was just thinking last night, I'm like, dude, he kind of just built a career about the obsession of this woman. And of course, a lot of it's on the nose now, like we see it in the context, but yeah, he just was capitalizing off of it. Everybody was just relating to some of the lyrics in the song because you're just thinking like, oh, these are like sad love songs, whatever, and most people can relate to that. But yeah, that definitely makes it creepy. It's like, whoa, dude, you were capitalizing off this. Was this your main source of inspiration for even making this music?
Ooh,
It kind of makes me think about it.
I got the chills, not gonna lie.
Yeah,
Dude, I did not think about that. Like, he built his career on someone that, going back, like, what was the motive? I think he was just really obsessed with her. Like, I don't know. So,
Well, I'll say this too, like, not to cut off you guys and hype
okay.
and whatever, just to kind of say like my thought on it, right? Just like the motive, right? I think that's absolutely right. There was an obsession there. The most glaring thing someone said where it made sense to me immediately was that he could have, which I don't know if they've even discovered this. I don't know what's going on with this, but it makes me think after seeing somebody on Twitter talk about how what if he potentially got her pregnant at that age, right? And he didn't want to, of course, go because once that gets out, like, oh, this underage girl's pregnant. Who's the dad? Oh, it's him. Yada yada. You're done, right? Which he's already done, regardless. But still, I wonder if that played a factor into it, of the fact of like, oh yeah, I got her pregnant, and like I have to get rid of this. And then on top of that, the other thing that makes me wonder is if I am curious if at some point recently, in particular, of course, if she was going to potentially expose him for being, a creep and all that. And I wonder if that snaps something in his head of like, oh no, like I can't let this get out there. As much as he kind of wanted it to be out there, to be honest, just with everything going on. But those are the two things that I kind of look at, is if she was going to expose him or if he got her pregnant.
I
And
got
I
some.
wonder if those two things kind of played into it.
I got some thoughts on that, but I'll let hype back to you. You got anything?
Yeah, I found recently this message was from yesterday, and it was a message from the moderators and from the Discord and Twitch staff team that they thought that Celeste was 18 to 19 and they had minimal contact with David. So it's
Mm,
possible that David kept it away from them too. And it seems like most of them have left the server and locked the server because they don't want to associate with David anymore.
ooh, oh, see, I didn't think about that. I didn't think that like, oh crap, we're basically suspects as well. Not
Oh
knowing
yeah.
not knowing she was
Oh yeah.
18, so let's lock everything up. But like, why would you kick someone out though? That they were
And
trying to,
see,
you know what I mean?
yeah, and that's where I like the whole idea of like we thought she was of age. Like I still, in my opinion, I find that to be bullshit. I know that's what all their excuses are going to be. All of them. Everybody that was around her, everybody that was involved with him, they're all going to say that. So none of them get in trouble. But yeah, I find that to be ridiculous because you
Yeah,
see that girl, you can tell immediately when a girl is like not, an adult, right? They had to have questioned it. There had to have been something to where like, hey, dude, like, who is this girl you're hanging out with? She looks pretty young.
right.
And regardless of him saying like, oh yeah, she's 18, she's 19, whatever, bullshit. Well, somebody should have been more on top of it and been like, hey, dude, this isn't cool. Like something's off here. Like, what are we doing? Like, this isn't right. And I know they're all gonna hide and try to lock stuff down so they don't get investigated and they get in trouble. It honestly, like, to kind of throw this little curveball in there, it reminds me a lot of like the whole like P Diddy stuff, right? What that guy was doing, because with him, he was doing crazy stuff as well, right? But everybody involved, there was multiple people that knew that what was going on, and he's just taking the rep, which rightfully so. He did some terrible things from what we all know, but all these other people around too, like they need to be questioned as well. And I think it goes back to this situation with David, and it's like these guys knew something was up, and yeah, they all need to be investigated for sure because something was wrong there, and they all knew.
So, going back to that, so here's a Twitter post. Uh, this Twitter post said, so David not only had a Discord server with Celeste where he lied about her age, it says 18 plus in her profile. So in her profile it said 18 plus. But also had matching tattoos with her when she was 14. Before the body was found, there were posts about David from people who knew Celeste and were getting downvoted. One of the screenshots was from 2022. No, 2023, I think. I think so. I can't. The dates is all. It said 23 October 22, so I think 2023, right? Um, he posted Celeste in here, and Celeste said, "Hi David, bark." And another screen captured. Uh, they said he has a girlfriend. Someone said, "Pretty sure he's dating right now." And that person replied, "What?" And the reply was, "Yeah, her name is Celeste." So this was from March 28th, 2024. Before April, where she was reported missing. Um, ooh, ooh. Here's another one. All right. This Twitter post from the same person that goes by Wolf Chanies. Did I actually pronounce it? Uh, David had, you can know the word after that, with 13-year-old Celeste amongst having matching tattoos and lying about her age in public. It cannot get any worse than this. Lock this monster up. He unalived this girl, even if it was indirect. And this is screen captures of stuff. I think from some type of messaging app. I think it was Instagram. Uh, the username is Wellness. Uh, I will send you guys screen captures, but it was basically I don't know how to say it because it's really disturbing. Um, it was about pretty much I can't say, I don't want to say it. But yeah, it's just really really sad. And then in the post it showed pictures of like video chatting between Celeste and David, and then a FaceTime, and the screen captured of the FaceTime it says Celeste and David, don't let me sleep. Basically, they were calling that friend, and it shows both David and Celeste in glasses. Um, that's just disturbing, man. So I guess there's someone else as a suspect. I think it's his bodyguard. I don't know if you guys came across that.
No, I haven't.
Yeah.
Yeah, I haven't seen anything about the bodyguard either.
Yeah. Supposedly, I forgot the name. I'll get back to that because I'm looking for that right now. But someone got a hold of Celeste's brother, and pretty much he like said like, yeah, um, I guess I don't want to quote the brother, but the mom knew their mom knew Celeste had a boyfriend that went by the name David. One post said she that the mother thought the boyfriend was a teenager. She didn't know their age. Um, and you know, I like going back to the whole like being obsessed with he was being obsessed with her because they were talking, let's say they were talking since 2021. So that was 4 years ago. That makes David at the age of 16 and her age 11. Now that's a 5 year difference, but if they were talking for that long and he's 20 now and she's still a teenager, she's still a kid, why did you continue talking to her? Like, well, what makes you so like? I don't know. What are your guys' thoughts?
Hype.
Oh, okay. I don't know who was going first. It's Is it possible that she lied about her age for 4 years and then he recently found out and that's the reason he killed her?
I think it's an interesting theory, but like I feel like he definitely knew something was up. If you, especially when you start seeing a woman, right? You ask questions about certain things, like the parents or whatever, and I think he would have found out pretty quickly if if she was underage or if she was of age or not. Like, and then in the simple fact too of like, um, on top of that, if he was going to her house or like picking her up or something. I just don't see how you can get away with lying like that and just being like, "Oh yeah, I'm of age and I'll just come like live with you" or some shit, right? It just seemed kind of off. Um, Especially because how did the interactions first start? Like, how did you even talk to her? You know? And, I think if you start from the beginning of that, I don't know. For me personally, I just can't see how you wouldn't be able to find that out pretty quickly. At least as a man, you should question that immediately and be like, hey, dude, like, you seem pretty young. Like, how old are you? Simple question. It's like, then right? And maybe he did have that conversation and maybe she was truthful about it. And me, he was just probably creepy the entire time. He's like, oh, it's fine with me, whatever, discussing. But if it was that other way around, right? If somehow he didn't know this entire time and didn't know about the parents putting out like a missing, report on her or whatever, I guess that would be somewhat possible for sure. But yeah, I think it's pretty damning with everything else though that kind of leads into that of the songs and the tattoos and um just the time framing of them meeting and whatnot. Especially if he first met her when she was like 11 or 12, like that's crazy. There's no way you could believe 11 or 12-year-olds saying that they're 18 or something. You know what I mean? Like
Hmm.
there's no way. Uh-uh. So I don't know exactly, and that's why I think I'm so intrigued to find out like what the hell this guy was thinking this entire time. And I hope that comes out at some point, and I don't know how this is going to play out, but I just hope we get concrete, you know, resolution to this in some capacity of like he admits to all these things or he gives a full detail of like what was going on and all that stuff, but it's definitely strange.
So okay, so going back to about the bodyguard, he went by the name, or he goes by the name Marky Next Door. So Marky is his bodyguard. There's a screenshot of a message. Marky said, "Hey Celeste, I miss you." Celeste responded, "Hi Marky, you did great." David responded, "Facts, best bodyguard." Get this, the last words he said in that message. "Facts, best bodyguard he killed for me." So he killed for
Oh,
me. Okay, so supposedly there's someone, I guess, that uh David took care of. I forgot the name. I know it starts with a G. There's so much, dude. Like I'm all scatterbrained right now because there's so much I want to talk about. Um, but that name, I guess, end up disappearing. No one knows what happened, but David knows. Um, so Marky next door is a suspect in of the 15-year-old Celeste. He's he's wanted by the FBI. So I don't know how true that is. I don't know if someone just made up a poster of wanted by the FBI. His name is Mark Morales. And he was a bodyguard of David. So I don't know if they have captured him. I haven't really looked into that, but I just know that that is something that people have brought up, that bodyguard is a suspect as well in this investigation. Um, so other things that made it kind of disturbing of David, how he wore a lot of Hello Kitty uh, sandals of the body of Celeste's body when they found her body. She was wearing Hello Kitty sandals, and those are the sandals that she was last seen worn a year ago. Um, there's this post that said he was wearing her bracelets in a picture that was posted on his Instagram on August 22nd, 2025.
oh,
Some people are speculating that she's probably been gone since then.
yeah,
That's
I would believe that for sure.
yeah.
One question I was going to ask you, DJ. It kind of goes back to when the body was first found, right? Has this been confirmed that the body was like dismembered, or was it a fact of,
Ah,
or was it? I seen a counterpoint to that yesterday, right? I think it was last night, rather. Um, I seen that it wasn't that the body was dismembered, but the body was so badly decomposing
mm-hmm.
that it could have been like in different parts in some way, like together, right? Did they ever say exactly like it was, brutally dismembered, or was it just decomposing the
I
whole
think
time?
TMZ reported it. I know TMZ is a very, very big,
Yeah, they get
you
the
know.
scoop on stuff before anybody else knows somehow. I don't
Yeah,
know how that works.
I think they reported that it was dismembered. Um,
That's insane. Yeah, and I think that's what adds like a layer of brutality to it because it's like, one, I mean, it's already bad enough that someone was, murdered and whatnot, right? And then just kind of left in the trunk. But I mean, to go out and do something like that is just like another layer of insane. Like, you don't do something like that unless you're just so fucked up in the head. And yeah, that made me question a lot too. I was just like, regardless, it's still terrible, like no matter how. But I think if you're doing something like that on top of that, right, it just makes it more crazy. But yeah, I was kind of curious about that because I remember it first being reported that it was dismembered, but then someone brought that up last night on a video I was watching on TikTok, I think. But they're like, oh, it could have just been like, the body just so decomposed, and then that's why it was in different parts or something.
oh,
But
okay, so Crow's Night. So about that, okay. Remember you said that she probably could have been pregnant?
yeah,
Uh, so now showing deleted user, I think they deleted her account. But from deleted user in the Discord, showed, let's say, let's say it's her hand with an engagement ring. There's a picture of from deleted user of his arm on her legs and in some room. I don't know if he was on tour. This is from 7/11/2024. Another picture, screen capture. This person added David in Discord, said, "Are you happily married or single?" David responded, "Me and deleted user got a kid on the way." That's from 7/11/2024. So let's say she was about a year, or not a year, sorry, a month pregnant, or close to a month pregnant, if that was the case, right? If that's true. August, September, October, November, December. That's probably about 5 or 6 months. About March, they would have had the kid. So I don't want to put pictures in anyone's brains, but if her body was very decomposed, do you think it's been longer than what someone said, maybe August, that she's been gone?
If I had to guess, I probably, yeah, if it was decomposed that, I mean, of course, I don't know the anatomy of that, of like how long
Yeah.
it takes for it to decompose in a certain way, right? I don't know. But yeah, if I had to guess, then yeah, 100%. It probably was like a lot longer, which is, just disgusting in general. But I don't know how someone, man, it's just trying to get into the psychology of someone's mind with that, right? How could you knowingly do that and just proceed with life like everything's okay? And I understand it's like a true psychopath that can do shit like that. But yeah, it's just wild that that happened probably a long time ago, and it's just been sitting there for a while. And then just him playing it off like nothing's wrong. And what makes it more weird too, kind of to tie into other stuff, like, if he was seeing this girl, which it looks like he was, right? You would think there'd be more concern in some way, not to make it right in any capacity because she was underage or whatever, but I don't see how, like, you're seeing this girl for a while and then all of a sudden she's gone and then you're just like not talking about anything, which I get, right, in some way, because you shouldn't have done it in the first place. But yeah, I don't get it. A lot of it is just really weird shit. And yeah, just to get to the point though, it's like, yeah, I do believe that it had to have been a while, a couple months, 3 months maybe, I don't know.
So there's more like screen captures that people were saying that he was talking to more underage girls. Oh man, dude. There's a video of there's a picture and a video side by side from another user, and like I said, the people on the internet, they can deep dive more than the authorities, and I'm surprised authorities are not trying to use this as evidence or deep dive more if it's real. Because nowadays, it's AI. I'm not saying, I'm not speculating, oh, it's AI, but like there's a lot of stuff, and a lot of his music, a lot of his lyrics, and videos shows so much, and it's very disturbing. But this picture showed Celeste sitting down with some shoes, I think some Jordans, and
Oh
in
yeah,
the
I remember
video,
that. Yep.
and the video shows him cleaning the same shoes, and
Yeah, absolutely. Oh yeah.
oh man, oh dude,
Yeah, because I seen that video last night actually. It was like a TikTok or something.
uh-huh.
And the caption of the video, it was saying that something along the lines of like, "Oh, I clean shoes as like a side hustle," or something like that. Something along to that effect. And one of the pairs of shoes were the same Jordans that she was wearing. Of course, it's a very common pair of Jordans, right? I think it's the Jordan 4s, if I'm not wrong. Very common, especially nowadays. A lot of people like those shoes and yada yada. But it's just fucking so weird and specific to what she was wearing in one of these pictures or whatever, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, dude, what the fuck? Like, there's too many coincidences here. and maybe it's all wrong somehow. I doubt it, but I feel like it's just so concrete and in everyone's face of like, look at all these things that tie back to this girl. It's bizarre. But the one thing I was just gonna throw in there too, we were talking about the AI stuff. That song, that Celeste song, I thought that was an AI thing at first.
Mm-hmm.
Like, to be honest, I didn't think that. I was like, there's no way he had this song made about this girl. I was like, I feel like someone just created that just to kind of add to this narrative of what's going on. But I mean, as the day or two have gone on since I first heard about that, it seems to be 100% real from my understanding. But no, yeah, it's wild. A lot of it's wild.
So the person started with the G, went by the name Gus. I think Gus was the one that was involved. So in the pictures that I was going to talk about, I'm gonna go past certain parts. The person between them and Celeste was talking about someone, and Celeste said, "W Gus, I was just drunk and did it because he got mad at me for the first time for not having, with him." Um, that other says, "I'm just gonna check up on you." And she said, "I don't want to talk to anyone. That's it. Okay, yes, of course, but you have to swear you're gonna stay safe. Are you still gonna talk to David or go back with him? Because I don't want you to get into any more trouble with him." That's kind of weird. Like, get in trouble with him. Like, what do they mean by getting in trouble with David? Celeste said, "I'm safe." "No, I'm not." And the person said, "Okay, I love you. I'll text you in about a week. Don't delete Insta. I love you too, and I won't." So I guess Celeste had a different Instagram, which is kind of weird.
I heard about this. Yeah.
So with that post, they said, "Once again, if anyone's able to keep track of David's following on Insta, please do so. He's been unfollowing people linked to Celeste as of today." So this is about 2-3 days ago, including one of her exes that was reportedly shot, according to Celeste's brother. So
what?
So Celeste's brother, someone was talking to Celeste's brother, and the brother was stating a lot of things, and one of the things was like, he knew she, or like I think he said he knew, or that she was talking to someone named David, and he thinks that was David. And then talking about Gus was shot, he got rid of, and David got rid of him. That's what in that conversation was. So yeah, hype. Any thoughts on all that?
It's definitely just all crazy, like, it's like it's very hard to tell, like, what's real and just who knew about, Celeste and, like, her true age and stuff.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And it's just kind of weird that he was possibly, or probably was, or, talking to other underage girls. And that is just super, super disturbing. I don't know what else he has did. But yeah. And there's been a lot of like clips of between David and her. And one clip, I think towards the end they told the mod to delete the VOD and delete the clips, get rid of it. And it's like, why? Why would you do that? Like, you don't want proof. Like, if you're streaming, no matter what, it's recorded. It's on the internet. You can't get rid of it. You can delete it. Someone can go back and bring it back up. Just getting a little bit more. Pearls, you have anything else you want to kind of go over? Anything you want to like discuss more? I got a couple more things, but I'll let you guys talk more about it.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of it is just, it's confusion at the moment, right? Not fully knowing the full picture, but having everybody kind of chime in on this. It's been interesting in a weird way, right? It's interesting in the fact of, we're essentially uncovering, a dark secret in front of like the public eye, right? To this famous artist and whatnot. The last person you would think that would do something like this potentially. And no, I feel like I was saying a little bit ago, there's too many coincidences. The one thing you were talking about too, about how an ex-boyfriend was potentially, shot and all this, and if he was for sure, yeah, like absolutely, that's insane. And it just makes me think like, dude, this guy had so much power behind the scenes that nobody knew about, and he's able to do these things. And I hope, really, in all honesty, that if this guy did all these things, that they could put him away for, ever, basically. But yeah, I don't know how he was able to get away with this stuff for so long, and all these people that were like intimidated by it. And maybe that was a factor too. Maybe people knew that he was doing stuff to um anybody that was going to potentially leak information, or maybe he was paying people off the whole time to keep people to shut up, or I don't know. But there's a level of smart to it in his eyes, right? To where he's been checking every little box to like cover his ass probably the entire time. And I think that might make it a little difficult for investigators at first. Like, of course, they're going to be smarter than the potential like murderer, right? They're going to be able to pinpoint everything into certain directions and really figure it out. I don't think this guy's like a super genius and he's going to be able to get away with this somehow. But yeah, I do think he was trying to be meticulous the entire time, and he was trying to cover himself in so many different ways. And, maybe he's going to have some type of case. Like, of course, whenever it goes to trial and stuff with this whole thing, like, somebody's going to get in trouble for this, for sure. But, yeah, I really hope they can get down to the bottom of it and really figure it out. And I like, in my opinion, strongly, I think he did it. Or if he didn't do it himself, he probably paid someone to do it. Like you're talking about the bodyguard thing earlier.
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't put that past anybody in that circle that knew about this stuff. And if he paid them a lot of money, money talks to some people that are just so deprived on, their way of living. They have to have that to sustain themselves. And, there's psychos out there that will just perform and act like that just because they're going to get paid and they get that gratification in the moment of being secure. So I think in some direction, someone will get in trouble. And if he didn't do it himself, then he probably paid someone to do it. Whether that information gets out or not, I would believe it would. I don't think anybody's going to try to, like, I'm not going to snitch on this guy, like, whatever. But yeah, there's something heinous going on, and I just hope the full picture comes out.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want it to be just swept under the rug, which I feel like in a way some of it kind of is. Like I brought up the whole P. Diddy stuff earlier, right? And that was so thrown out there in the public eye, and they were able to get on top of it pretty quick. Like they had this investigation, like when all the allegations were coming out, and then they raided his house, they got all this stuff, and they were figuring stuff out, whatever. It seemed to be more locked on, like they had something against him pretty quick. This one though, like this whole situation, just from the investigators' point of view of what was released to the public immediately. I understand his house got like raided or whatever, and like they're investigating certain aspects of what he has at his house now. So that's good. They're gonna find out some stuff, 100%.
I think they took like a laptop and some other things. Yeah,
some other things as well. Yeah, so they got some stuff. So they're gonna figure some stuff out pretty quickly. But just my initial reaction to some of that stuff, it doesn't seem like there's some sense of like urgency there. And most of it's coming from like, quote unquote internet detectives, right? Everybody else kind of doing the research for detectives and all this stuff. And I find that to be bizarre. Like, why isn't this guy arrested, or how is he not like a person of interest at this point? Like, what's going on?
Well,
like it just seems like a lot of it is like it's being so kept tightly under wraps, and a lot of us are kind of left to speculate and put all these things together, and it just worries me that we're not going to get the solution that we, and not even just us, right, but more importantly, the victim and her family deserve, right? They deserve to get that resolution and understand fully the whole picture. And you know, whoever did this needs to be, be put away. And I think that's what the victim deserves. Like, she like, to have her soul rest, right? Like, she needs to have that person who did that to her, like, to be put away forever. And her family to be able to even be remotely, able to sleep at night. They need to have some information, and I hope it gets to that point pretty soon.
Well, from the brother's conversation of someone that reached out to him, I think the brother said like they tried going out to the authorities, or someone else said something about that. Someone went to authorities, and authorities said there's not enough information or not enough proof.
I did see something like that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Did they say exactly the time frame of that though? That was like, was it early on in them kind of talking, or was it like later on?
I don't know. So I'll get to that point towards the end of this.
Okay.
I just kind of want to go over some couple lyrics. Hype, do you have anything you want to add?
No, both of you basically covered like almost everything.
There's a lot, like there's so much to talk about, but like that's like the most big things that like I think we can, you know, not come up with, but like go over. But do you have any thoughts on everything?
I definitely think he had somebody do it and he just continued on his tour acting like it wasn't a big deal, so he wasn't as suspicious, except continuing his tour just made it even more suspicious. So,
You know what, I kind of want to piggyback off of that. Like I think we all agree, or not agree, but like can come up with like he had someone do it, right? What if that bodyguard did do it? David paid him to do it because he said in one of the posts says, "Oh, he'll kill for me." Gus is gone.
Mm-hmm.
What if Gus got Celeste pregnant, and the obsession of David just like couldn't, like, he can't get that thoughts of like, that's not my kid, that's not our kid together, that's yours and
Oh,
his, right?
oh Lord. Oh yeah.
And let's say the bodyguard did do something, right? And at the house, David's like, "Hey, I'm about to go on tour. I need you to get rid of the body and of the car." Now, I was reading something about like you stating that, like, someone got the car impounded, it was like gone, or it was somewhere. I was reading that someone that they saw the car, the Tesla. Some people reported the car because they smelt something, and they went to go impound the car, and that's when they came across, they looked through the car and they came across that body. And Dave is out on tour, even though his tour is canceled. But what are you guys' thoughts about that? Like, speculating about that.
it definitely could have been Gus that got her pregnant if she was pregnant. Is that confirmed if she was pregnant or?
I, I don't know. Like, if the person that asked, like, "Oh, are you single or whatever?" Um, that was from last year in July, and if she was pregnant, um, they would have already had the kid. Now, say that they had the kid, what happened? Like, some celebrities are on the down low. They keep their relationship away from the media and from the world. And then I'll say, "Hey, so and so just had a baby on this day, blah blah blah." Like, "Oh, we didn't know you were pregnant."
Yeah.
Like Rihanna, I think that a couple years ago in the Super Bowl, she showed a baby bump, but she never announced that her and ASAP were expecting a child. So, and top of that, another speculation was, I think, Crows, you brought this up, was like, okay, if she was pregnant, crap, who's the father? I'm going to be the father, and I'm an adult and she's a child. I need to get, I need to get rid of evidence. So those are all speculation. And in the lyrics, some of the songs, one romantic homicide. So I believe romantic homicide. Um, I could do a quick search, but in one of the lyrics, it says, "In the back of my mind, I killed you, and I didn't even regret it. I can't believe I said it, but it's true." Mm. Um, I think people were saying, the video was posted September 7th, 2022. She was born September 7th, 2022. And I believe that in this video, Curls, I don't know if you saw the video, but I think that was one of the videos that the person looked like her. I don't know.
Oh, okay.
But I can't tell. I'm like looking through the video right now. It's very dark. Like you can't really see much coloring in the video. But I know there was a music video as well that like someone was putting a body in the back of a car. I forgot what song of his that was.
Oh, I remember that. Yeah. I seen that last night too.
Yeah,
Crazy.
yeah. Another song. Uh, this is from another post. Singer David dropped a track about a girl named Celeste back in December 23. And new photos of him with the 15-year-old who was later found deceased in his car has surfaced online. And the lyrics, it's from verse 3. It says, "Oh, Celeste, the girl with my name tattooed on her chest. Smell her on my clothes like cigarettes. I need her voice each time I take a breath." And then it says, "I'm obsessed. Oh, Celeste, afraid you'll only love me when undressed. But you look so damn gorgeous in that dress. Missing you so much makes me depressed, but I digress because."
That's wild.
Dude,
Like, look,
that's chills, bro.
Yeah, that's just like, come on, dude. What are we doing? Like, it's so insane. And the one thing I seen, there's a phase member, I think Jason the Ween, if his name's correct, if I just said that.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
He had a connection to him, right? So like they were kind of cool with each other. Of course, now he's trying to act like, because he was defending this guy the other day, right? He was like, "Oh yeah, he didn't do it. Like no way." And then now I seen a video last night. He's like, "Yeah, we weren't even like that close of friends. We did one video." Shut the fuck up. Look, he even admits in there that he met a Celeste, but it wasn't that same one. I was like, first of all, that's not a fucking common name, dude. All right. And second of all, you're telling me that potentially the case that David's going to have with this is like, I was talking about a different Celeste. Like, that element is going to be fucking wild because I think now that you brought that up, it made me think of that video that I watched last night. And I'm like, that's probably what he's going to say. It's like, I was never associated with this person. It was a different Celeste. And like, what are the odds of that? 1 in a billion. Okay. Like, there's no way. There's no way. And, just seeing that from that phase member, to him saying that, I was just like, dude, there's no way you admitted to meeting someone named that, but it wasn't the same one. Like, come on. Come on.
Crazy is that there's so many content creators that were friends with David. I'm a big 100 Thieves fan, and 100 Thieves at one point had David on their content creator team. I remember that. I remember that announcement. I'm like, oh, cool. I was happy for him. I thought he was just only a singer. Why is he as a content creator? But he streamed and did a lot of content creation. So we're almost getting towards the end of this investigation for us as Investigamers. Discord posted in the server. There's a screenshot of it. To the members of this server, we, the Discord and Twitch staff team, want to clarify that we knew and didn't know regarding Celeste. We were not aware of her true age or that she was a missing person. We also did not have any contact with her outside of what was public. From what was shared in David's Twitch streams and from her role in the server, we understood her to be around 18 to 19. She appeared in 2 streams, but otherwise was not active in the server, and we did not have ongoing communication with her. Most of us are not located in California, so we were not aware of any missing persons reports connected to her. Additionally, the staff team has had minimal contact with David or his management. The mention of her full name within the server was not seen in real time due to how fast the chat moves when David pings everyone. As a result of this situation, the majority of the staff team has left the server, and we no longer associate with David. We do not support his action in any capacity. Our priority has always been the well-being of members in this community. We are deeply saddened by the situation and extend our prayers to Celeste's family. May she rest in peace, and may her family receive justice. To support her family directly, here's a link to their official GoFundMe. Rest in peace, Celeste Rivas Hernandez. That was from September 19th, so just yesterday. In these final moments, before I get to an update on this, is from a family member of hers that I just saw while looking for more things to discuss about. It's very sad. It makes me think of my little sister. She's, I believe, going to be 14 here in a couple months. Like I'm very protective of my siblings. Like I'll do whatever I can for them, and they know that. And if they're listening to this, like you guys know, you can reach out to me. But to my teenage sister, please be very careful. It is just very sad, and that's why I've been feeling sick to my stomach when I'm looking this up, because it's like as her siblings, it's like you don't know that much about the siblings or your siblings' partner. You don't know because a lot of teenagers can go into this rebellious phase, and they don't want their parents or family to know who they're talking to. I was very open to my parents growing up, but like when I hear a lot about my sisters having a boyfriend, I get very defensive. Or if they have a girlfriend, I get very defensive because I'm like, I need to know who you're talking to. Because if something were to happen, I will, I will straight up kind of tell them like, hey, why did you make my sister sad? Why did you make her cry? Even for my brother with his girlfriend, if he's hurt, I'm gonna talk to him like, what's going on? Like, talk to me. Like, I will defend my siblings, and I will make sure they're okay. So seeing this, it's very disturbing. It's very sad. It's very depressing. And full prayers, my prayers and deep, deep, deep condolences to her family. Hopefully justice comes about soon. And hopefully, whoever it is, if it's from the bodyguard or it's him, I hope you rock for sure. Any final thoughts?
Just from my perspective, I kind of said it a few times throughout this, but I just want justice to be served, really. Like, This whole situation is so weird, and it's out there, and everybody is kind of piecing stuff together, and it's going to take a while to really get down to the nitty gritty of this entire, there's probably so much stuff that investigators have to go through to even come to a concrete, resolution to this. So unfortunately, it's just going to be a day-to-day basis of just trying to figure out the truth, what actually happened here. And I don't even know if they never even mentioned the whole cause of death, right? They haven't even discussed that yet. They just identified the body, if I'm not wrong. So that is another one that I'm kind of curious about, what exactly was the cause of death. And I don't know how that works. And, as unfortunate it is, the body was decomposing, that's terrible. I don't know how that works as far as, trying to determine a cause of death, if it's been too long in that process, you know what I mean? So I don't know if they're going to be able to figure it out. I would hope they would. I'm pretty sure they could. But justice needs to happen, for her family, all that. And, whoever did this, of course, they need to be they need to get put away. But him, even if he didn't perform that, and let's just say by some wild imagination that he didn't pay someone else to do it, and by some freak accident, someone just stole the car and just happened to, murder this person, right? Let's just say that is the thing. regardless, it doesn't excuse the fact that it's clearly obvious that he was talking to an underage person,
Mm.
and he did it for a long time. So regardless of any of that, the actual body itself, I would imagine his career is completely done. I would imagine he's going to get in so much trouble just for talking to that person alone. And they weren't just talking and it wasn't like a neutral conversation. Even if it was, it's still wildly inappropriate that you're doing that with an underage person, like regardless. But you already know everything else. It was like a relationship from what it seems like. So it's already gross. And he needs to be in a lot of trouble for that alone. But there is no fucking way that he has no link to her being murdered. There's something there that whether he did it himself or he paid someone else to do it, his car is already linked to it. He's linked to her. It doesn't take a rocket scientist to put two and two together and be like, he had something to do with that. But what was it exactly? So I just think it's unfortunate for the victim and the family. That is terrible. I could never even imagine an atrocity happening to someone like that in my family. It'd be devastating beyond all repair. You can't even think straight for the rest of your life. That's how much it's going to affect you. And on his side as well, it's unfortunate only in the sense that he had enough talent to not do anything weird, and he took full advantage of his talent and his singing ability, and he just used it to prey on younger women. If it wasn't just her, he did it to one person, and one's enough, right? You do it once and you're going to be labeled that for the rest of your life, deservedly so. But yeah, he used his stardom, his fame, everything he had that most people would absolutely love to have. They would love to have that stardom and that chance to just put their work out in the world and be recognized for good things. And he just completely ruined it. Completely just, took that opportunity from someone else. And he took the opportunity for someone to live a long life. Mm-hmm. And he took that and brainwashed somebody to make them fall in love with him at a young age, especially when you're that young. You don't know any better, dude. And I want to preface that, too, is she did nothing wrong, and I hope people don't look at her in some weird way of, like, I can't believe she made him do this or something. You know how weird people get, like, defending the actual person that does heinous acts. They'll still defend for some reason, and I still see people defending that guy like he had nothing to do with this stuff. Get out of here. Like, I don't want to associate myself with any of you people. Like, you guys are psychotic. Mm-hmm. But he took her life. And in more ways than one, completely ruined everything, the potential of what she could have been and her living a long life, her being a family person, right? He took that from her family, everybody. So he needs to be put away regardless of, conversations or if he committed this act. And yeah, it's going to be a weird stain in like music history for sure. Because there was so much good the guy could have done if he just wasn't a creep. And he just he ruined everything. And yeah, I hope this investigation can go as quickly as possible and we get whoever's involved put away for the rest of their life.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Hype. Any final thoughts?
Yeah, he definitely did something. Whether he did kill her or not, he still had a relationship with a minor, so he's still going away just for something.
Yeah.
Hopefully they put him away.
Hopefully, if it was him, hopefully so. Even if he paid someone or if it was someone else, like there's so many speculations that we can go over. But the things that has been pointed out is just very obvious. Going back to Curls, what you're saying, like people that are defending him. I think at the beginning there's I spoke to some friends, and we were discussing about this. They didn't want to believe it was him, and I get why, because of his talent, of his music. At the beginning, he's like, oh, a lot of people thought this. And like, for me, I'm like, oh, could have been someone that stole his car or a fan was obsessed with him or something. As more things were being leaked and being shown, the views of friends and coworkers, as we're discussing about this, changed because like there's so much proof, and it just shows that people out in the internet will get the bottom of it. If there is no justice being brought from the authorities, we're going to bring justice from ourselves to help that family, to help have her soul rest in peace, because we don't know what happened. There's no autopsy results of anything. We don't know what's going on. The only people that know is the person that did that to Celeste. And it's very unfortunate because she had many, many, many years left in her life. We don't know what her goal was in life. We're not going to know. The family probably knows, but for us, it's just very sad. And the final thoughts, everything of today's discussion, of today's investigation by the Investigamers. Her sister opened up her old account from what I'm seeing from this post, and these are her from her story on Instagram. I'm gonna read it. If there is a GoFundMe link, I will do my best to post in the description down below. Make sure you guys check that out. If it's, if I did come across it, I'm gonna do my best to do it because I want her family to get support. This is what she said. Hey everyone, I've been reading through the comments and I just want to clear a few things up. First, we are absolutely not trying to scam anyone. Every single donation is going directly where it's supposed to. The GoFundMe was originally created by Celeste herself. She did post it, but later had to take it down because people were digging into her account and finding personal information about the family. Out of respect for their privacy and to protect them during this really painful time, we decided to share it here instead. Adding on to this, we want to be clear that we did not know where Celeste was, and we also didn't know who David was. The police haven't shared any information about him with us either. Her funeral will likely be in 2 to 3 weeks. Once everything has been finalized, when this is all over, we'll be deactivating this account, and we are not clout chasing. We are not scamming anyone. We're simply trying to honor Celeste and support her family through this. This fundraiser is simply about helping the family through an incredibly hard moment. We really appreciate everyone's support, kindness, and prayers. Yes, I do have access to her archive, but nothing from this account should go public. Police told us not to share any evidence since nothing has been finalized and we're not even being updated on what's happening. For now, everything will stay private. Also, thank you all. We're so close to reaching the GoFundMe goal. So yeah, that was from an Instagram post. As the post stated, I'm reading from what they're sharing. Celeste Rivas' sister just reopened her old account and shared the truth. They didn't know where Celeste was. They didn't even know about David personally. So yeah. So if I can come across that link, I will share it. Here on this episode. Really do appreciate Curls and Hype wanting to discuss this. I really do appreciate that. Because there's a lot that I wanted to kind of deep dive with you guys and kind of talk to you guys, because it's just a very unfortunate event, very disturbing, and I hope justice comes about. But yeah, that is all we have for today. Curls, once again, thank you. If you want to share again about your Twitch and whatever that you have upcoming, I'm very excited.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I mean, it's always a pleasure doing these podcasts, man. The situation's crazy, and I'm curious, man. I'm curious to see how it unfolds, and like you said, justice needs to be served, and I hope it does very soon. Outside of everything that we talked about today, of course, with me, the only things I got coming up, I'm gonna get back into streaming. It's been a long time. I've always been kind of off and on with it, just life stuff kind of getting in the way of things, and trying to see where I'm at mentally. It's hard to just try to keep pushing if you're not all right, So I have to take these pauses and breaks just to make sure my mental's good and then we're flowing correctly, but Just made an announcement yesterday. We're going to be streaming next Saturday. The new Silent Hill is dropping. Very excited for that. Always loved playing horror games and whatnot, and just the atmosphere with it for a stream is really fun. So we're going to be doing that next Saturday, the 28th at I think 8 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. So if you guys want to have some good vibe, little spooky vibes before we get into the Halloween season, that's where you're going to catch me at. And of course, outside of that, you can always get me on Twitter or X. The randoms want to say nowadays. It's still Twitter to me, but you go on there, and I'm still the same username as Twitch. It's just gonna be Mr. Crowls. So look me up, check it out. Let's find some good content, and yeah, keep it flowing.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And Mr. Hype.
Yes.
Let's share your
Yes.
your accounts.
Oh yeah. Skulls Hype, 2 L's, 2 Z's on everything: Twitch, YouTube, TikTok, whatever you guys got.
They're damn TikTokers. Yeah.
Being around too.
I'll post their links in the description down below. Check them out, guys. They are good friends of mine. And hopefully, maybe in a couple weeks we'll do another episode. But I am going to try to do some episodes with you guys next month. For the spooky season. It's almost that time of the year. Yes, sir.
Yeah.
I also got some streams and some content coming your guys' way. Just been very busy with a lot of things, but other than that, guys, we are the Investigamers. Anna, hopefully we get you back on here soon. Hope you guys enjoyed the episode. If leave the comments down below your guys' thoughts on everything. I'm pretty sure there's a lot more that's being leaked. And like I said, hopefully justice comes about very soon. But other than that, guys, we'll catch you guys on the next one. See ya. Bye.
Yes.